High in confidence following the 3-0 victory over Sudan, coach Shakes Mashaba has thrown his weight behind his young side, saying that tonight's game plan will be to get under the Super Eagles' skin. To speak to us about this evening's match is soccer analyst Papi Khomane. Thanks for joining us, Papi. Now,
thanks, Lebo.
We've just heard he's made two changes. He's brought in Vilakazi from Bidvest and Opa Manyesa. Do you think it's a wise move? Don't you think that he should have kept maybe the same team that started against Sudan and maybe bring in Vilakazi, who made those changes in the second half against Sudan?
It's a very interesting change that he made. However, I thought maybe, because Vilakazi as well as Manyesa, they play more the less in the central role. So now who's going to play on the left? Because Vilakazi he's not much effective if he goes to the left, and especially coming from the flank and then coming in, because he likes to go deep in the center of the midfield and then pushing forward. So that is a bit interesting to see that the coach he's got that variation. But the most important part is that he's got the ability to motivate players. If you look at, he has coached the under-17, the under-20s, the under-23s, and the national team. So he can communicate with players in a way that he can get the best out of him. So it will be very critical to him tonight for him to say, look, guys, what we need to do is we need to be strong against Nigeria, and the only best part to be strong is to be mentally strong.
They're facing a Nigerian team that suffered a defeat against Congo-Brazzaville 3-2 at the weekend. They have won. They did win their match against Sudan 3-0. They come into the match high in confidence against a team that was beaten. But don't you think that as well there would be a confidence or maybe a morale boost to Nigeria coming to this match and probably coming stronger?
Well, it goes both ways, Lebu. If you look at Nigeria, if it comes to South Africa, they are cocky, arrogant, in a way that, they will say, when did last South Africa beat us? That was about 10 years ago. And if you look at the goal ratio between the two sides, it's 3 against 19. So they've got almost the upper hand. But that, still as it is, it doesn't guarantee that they will still win, because now they didn't also have most of their players that are regular in that team that lost against Congo. Emmanuel Amunike, after that loss, he stormed out of the dressing room angry about the results, and he just wants to win. So that tells you that, they're taking this game very serious, because if they lose tonight in Nigeria, remember now, it will be a 2-horse race now. It will be Congo-Brazzaville as well as South Africa. So that will be an added advantage on our side. But however, you look at the South African side, that is a morale booster that we had on our side. We had a team that is just like not performing very well, but there comes a coach with no enough preparation on their side, with just only that game as a startup, after taking over the under-20s into the junior championships, and then he just went on straight into Bafana, and then he delivered. So that tells you, if this team is able to be given time to blend and gel, we were able to get results.
And looking as well at the Nigerian team, you look at the names that come up there. You mentioned Emenike, you look at Ambrose, you've got Obi Mikel.
Well, yeah.
Those are the names that pop up, that come up, the strong names the strong players that are known, and surely the players that will come to the party for Nigeria. But there are those as well that are unknown, and those that could be dangerous against Bafana this evening.
Yes, there are those that are dangerous as well. But what I like about Stephen Keshi, what he did was he was able to say, okay, out of the experienced players, who can I bring in as youngsters to complement the strong guys who I know that when they're in the field of play, they can motivate the young ones. And you've got two different tactical coaches, Stephen Keshi and Shakes Mashaba as well on the other side. So it will be very critical that as that Stephen Keshi hasn't also signed up his contract. He's just only signed for 2 games. So that is also important in his venture to say, look, out of all the games that I've played, I can still deliver. So for him to get the results tonight will also be critical.
And just to wrap it up, Papi, how do you think Mashaba will approach tonight's match?
He's going to be very cautious, and the most important part that we do have as a strength from the Bafana is that we do have pace and skill. And the Nigerians on their side are big, physical, and strong. And what the most important part that we need to do is we shouldn't get close too tight to them, because if we get too tied to them, then we are not able to turn them. So the most important part that you saw that Congo did against Nigeria, it was they were quick, they were able to attack the spaces, not able to give Nigeria a chance to to recover. So the most important part is we need to exploit that speed as an element of surprise.
Papi, thank you very much for giving us your analysis about tonight's match, Nigeria and Bafana Bafana, and we hope that Bafana Bafana do well to get those 3 points and continue to lead the group with 6 points there in their campaign to qualify for Morocco 2015. Now moving along.